All right, let's just jump straight into programming the production product. Said no engineer ever. When I'm building an app, the fastest way to make progress and build momentum is to get a quick win. That's why I always start with a POC. Proof of concept is just a quick and dirty way to answer one question. Is this even possible? This is just to make sure that I don't spend hours of my life building something to later find out it's not exactly what I thought it would be. And my definition of quick and dirty POC is simple. I use a language that I'm comfortable in and try to hack together something that just works. So I opened my IDE, created a Python file, and got to work. My goal for the session was straightforward. I just needed to hack together a few scripts that proved that the core ideas behind AssetEnrich actually work. No worries about architecture, scalability, just functionality. Let's start with basic domain enrichment. We need to take a domain as input and output common DNS records and WHOIS information. There's really nothing fancy here, just built-in Python libraries performing DNS lookups and pulling registrar information. Sexy? No, but useful? Absolutely. Next, I moved on to URLs and focused on two practical use cases. For redirect chains, the idea is simple. If I start at a shortened URL, where do I end up? And for TLS, I just want to know who issued the certification that's securing the connection. So let's hop back into the IDE and knock out some quick programming. One thing we need to be sure of is that we follow redirect safely. That means no JavaScript execution. We just collect status codes and destinations. Once we finished our script, we can execute it with a sample URL. Now, to be honest, I have no clue what the original URL is that I entered, but at least now I know where it goes. All right, let's move on to the last asset type, IPs. I suspected that this would be the hardest one, especially when it comes to geolocation. So instead of going super deep like IPs will eventually demand, I just decided to pick two quick wins. First, ASN information. This is basically which network operator controls the IP block. Next, let's get some basic privacy booleans. Things like, is this a VPN? Is this a proxy? No. Is this the most complex information available? No. But it's the third win on the board to validate that our idea is possible. All right, let's execute the script and see what we got. And with that, the POC is done. I was able to quickly prove that all these enrichments are possible as one-offs. Now, throughout this POC, I intentionally avoided the hard parts like geolocation for IP. But that doesn't mean I completely ignored them. That means I'm researching them off to the side. All of the requirements I mentioned in the first devlog, I still need to make sure that those things are actually possible. That way I don't get blindsided by functionality later on. So I'll jump in, research them real quick, and drop notes in my project document. And I found out that while everything's possible, it's not in the exact ways that I was expecting. But that's a problem for a future video. See you in the next devlog.